Hey, we're live. Hey, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of One Up here on Super Trash TV. I'm very excited to bring you this very specific episode. This is the most specific one we've done yet. It's the fourth one, but it's the most specific. I'm your host and quizmaster and trivia creator and tall Jewish man, Jacob Rubin, and I am very excited not just to present this topic to you, but present these two contestants to you, because these are two very good friends of mine that have had a heated rivalry for their entire friendship, just about really anything. And I really want to see how this one turns out, not just because of the topic, but just because I know that the two of them are really going to bring their best energy to it. So if you have not read the description of the video, that's weird. I'll tell you, we're talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the seminal fighting game, the incredibly important arcade standard, the saving grace of the Sega Dreamcast besides Sonic Adventure 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Power Stone Erasure.
I'll take it. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants individually and alphabetically by first name. First of all, coming at you from Indiana, he is a stand-up comedian. He is former military. He is a stand-up comedian. It's 11 o'clock at night. Make some noise for Dan West, everybody.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
It's going great. Oh my God, it is Purim. And it's also Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, so I'm just having a great day. Happy 316, everyone. Welcome, absolutely.
Here.
Great. Tell me, why do you, this was your idea. You decided to challenge the other person to, who I haven't introduced yet, so I can't say his name. It's illegal. To Marvel vs. Capcom 2 trivia. Why did you choose this topic? Why do you think that you'll win today?
Well, I picked this topic because I didn't think you would let me pick Power Rangers. But I loved this game. This is the game that I would sink so many quarters into in the Aladdin's Castle arcade in the mall. I worked so hard to beat it, and then when I finally did beat it, it was just with the cheapest 3 cables on a team combination. I beat it, but I did not earn it, and so it held such a large piece of my childhood that when you said video games, this was the absolute first one that came to mind. I don't know that I'll win, but I do know that I'll be really, really mad at myself if I don't. So it's really exciting for me.
Great. Here on One Up, we are all about self-hatred. Let's move on to our other player, coming at you from San Francisco, California. He is a stand-up comedian. He is the illustrator who designed the One Up logo. So I'm really happy to get you on the show. Thanks so much for doing that. He is a member of the Super Trash TV crew. Folks, put your hands together for Tiramari Jyothi.
Yeah. I'm in Oakland now, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Once I found out you weren't in Oakland, I was like, here I come.
Yeah. Shitting on my birthplace and home for most of my life. Tiramari, thanks so much for coming and doing the show. What's your relationship like with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and why do you think you're going to win today?
Well, I think I'm going to win, first off, because I do strongly think that I could beat Dan in the actual game. So I got into arcade fighters during the pandemic. I have a couple of fight sticks now and stuff, so I've been playing it a lot. But
Nice.
My relationship to it, yeah, is like every kid who grew up with the game, it was like the laser tag go-to. You know, it was like you go to a friend's birthday party and they had a Dreamcast, it was on, you know? Do I know a lot about the game? Maybe not. But also the thing is that what Dan mentioned didn't mention is that the other option, he gave me 2 options. He was either like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or Kingdom Hearts, and I know so much less about Kingdom Hearts, so I figured I'd hedge my bets with this.
All right, the 2 sweetest words in the English language: default, default. Absolute Bullocks, who is in the chat. Yeah, this is the first time anything Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has ever happened on Super Trash TV. I hope that you aren't disappointed by us talking about it and not playing it at all. And Anthony Zuzolo, once they lost the Raiders, Oakland needed a Tiramari.
Oh, yeah.
Truer words never spoken.
I'm moving to Vegas tomorrow, but yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the jaw rules. If you've never been watched Super Trash TV, we call them jaw rules. The first jaw rule, which isn't on the list, but is if you call them anything besides jaw rules, you take a drink. So that's just for Dan because this is his first time on the channel. When you know the answer to a question,
call them anything other than that.
Right. When you know the answer to a question, PM it to Ben Spoon, our producer in the producing room. Thank you so much, Ben, every single week for helping out with this show. After both players have sent in their answers, they will be revealed one at a time. You may not change your answer after you've submitted it, even if you change your mind. There is no time limit, but after one player has submitted, the other player then has 10 seconds. So when you can tell when the music changes, Ben does something. I don't know. He'll surprise us. Every correct answer is 1 point. Take a drink if you get an answer wrong. Take an additional drink if you get it wrong and the other person got it right. Don't look at the chat. You can have Twitch open, but please don't look at the chat because sometimes people put answers in there. And don't cheat by using the internet. I realize that you could easily Google things. Please don't do it. And finally, the final jaw rule, I'm going to take you for a ride. Let's go ahead and get started with question number 1. Make sure you have your ability to message Ben open and ready because this is question number 1. What is the full title of Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Seconds, Tiramari.
All right.
All right. Everyone reporting in. Tiramari answered significantly after Dan, so let's find out what he said first. Tiramari, what answer did you put for the full title?
What did I write, Ben? I wrote MVC2 : back at it again. Okay.
MVC2, the search for Curly's gold. Oh man, I wish that's a great title. Dan, you answered significantly earlier and seem more confident. What is your answer for this one?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I went with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Heroes, ellipses. This is wrong, and I'm already sorry I picked this topic.
I'm gonna change the box that I have of my game so it says that now. All in quotes and then attributed to Dan West 2022. Let's go ahead and reveal the answer. It is Marvel vs. Capcom 2: New Age of Heroes. Yeah,
that was my next guess.
Right. The first one was called Clash of the Superheroes, and the second one, OJ said Worlds Collide. That's Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so you were off by one game, OJ. OJ Patterson, shout out in the chat. Reloaded. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Reloaded. That's pretty good. Anthony Zuzolo says, I hope there is Google cheating, and I want Jacob in on it. Make it like the old school quiz show scandals. No, not even once. So this is going really, really great. So far, no one's on the board, but I feel much better about I just, I wanted to get the title of the game out early. These other questions, I think, are a bit more accessible. Let's move on to question number 2. There are 2 different versions of Wolverine that are playable in this game. They have slightly different stats, but what is the aesthetic difference between the 2 versions? All right, both sides reporting in.
Oh. I thought every time.
Oh, but you submit it.
No, I typed in "I'm gonna say semicolon," and then I was right there. I was like thinking out loud. Oh, okay. I don't know. Cool. Done.
Okay.
I'm glad you had a
Tiramari's
faster
in.
version of the song.
This is the fastest the show's ever gone off the rails.
You're welcome.
I
I'm gonna
once
take it for a
again,
ride.
gonna take you for a ride right off the rails. Let's start with Tiramari, the ever confident. What did you put for the difference between the two different versions of Wolverine?
I'm gonna say semicolon. He's yellow and brown.
Oh, so his costume.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Dan, what did you put?
I also had his costume. One is yellow and blue. The other is the yellow and brownish red. The two different comic book costumes.
Okay. That would be awesome. However, both of you are incorrect.
Damn.
One of them has adamantium claws. The other has bone claws. You know how in the
Oh, that's
comics
so cool.
Wolverine had bone claws for a while. Yeah, the bone claw one has
I
a
don't know
faster.
if I buy it, guy who actually did research to get these questions correct.
The Anthony Zuzolo. One of them is Hugh Jackman. The other one is Daniel Radcliffe. Oh, absolute bollocks. Got it correct. He said bone Wolverine, bone claws. Yeah.
I don't know that Bone Wolverine is the same thing there, Jacob.
This is true. When I was doing research, I found out that in the online community, to differentiate them, they call him Bonery.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
not
Also, they
information I
all
knew.
have. Also, according to Zeus, Absolute Bullets, they all have multiple costumes. Every character in the game has multiple costumes, so it's possible that costume is in the game, but that's not the answer that I was looking for. Bone claws is the answer. Let's move on to question number 3. Hopefully, someone will get on board with this one. I feel pretty good about this one. The Capcom series Street Fighter has the most representation, with 12 of the 28 Capcom characters coming from that series. What Capcom series has the second most representation in terms of playable characters?
Wait, what was the first one?
It's on the screen. Can you see it?
No, I'm seeing the old one. It's fine. I'll just guess. What?
All right. Let's go to Dan first for this one. I don't know what you said.
I said Darkstalkers. I felt pretty good about it.
Okay. Another long-running, successful Capcom fighting franchise. That would make sense. Tiramari, what answer did you put?
I also said Darkstalkers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the answer. There's actually 2 correct answers, and one of them is Darkstalker, so you both get a point for that one.
Yes.
Outstanding.
The other one is So Darkstalkers, the 4 characters are Morrigan, Felicia, Anakaris, and BB Hood. In Mega Man, the other one is Mega Man with Mega Man Roll, Tronbon, and Servbot, who are from the Mega Man Legends series. So either Darkstalkers or Mega Man would have been correct. I was secretly hoping that each of you would put one, and that we got to have a nice, fun time, but it's okay.
I was gonna write Mega Man. I should have just gone with my gut.
Yeah, you should have. It would have. Your point value would not have changed, but
No.
it would have been a really nice moment for me.
It would have been a nice Gutsman move.
Yeah. Go with your gut, Guts, man. I think that did we need Tronbon and Servbot? Did we need both of them?
And we didn't get 0, so it feels wasteful.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't even know Mega Man that well.
Servbot's an important troll character. I really value troll characters in these games. The character that pisses off your opponent more than anything.
Yeah, you play
Yeah.
Pichu. Of course you like shitty troll characters. Am I allowed to
Yeah.
curse? I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
No,
we
I
can.
just said, yeah. Yeah, I also know how to play Dan in Street Fighter, and Dan in real life is also a disappointment. So it's.
Let's move into this. Is man, the questions get way harder from here, so I'm really nervous that we're just going to have a tie at 1 at the end of the game.
Oh no.
No, you guys will figure it out. You'll be fine. Let's move into the first, the first question, the 4th question. What's wrong with me? Question number 4. 3 playable Capcom characters make their first ever video game appearance in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What are their names? 1 point each.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this right now. My worst answer yet.
All right. Did Tiramari get his answers in?
I did, and they're terrible.
Okay. Then let's start with Dan, who I have a bit more faith in getting some right. What'd you put, Dan?
I appreciate the faith. I appreciate the faith as much as I appreciate that you have somehow turned an entire job out of something that I used to deliberately try to sabotage you from doing when early on. And I brought some of that same energy here. My answer for this is I blame Stephen Koo for this question. That is all three of my answers.
3 drinks, bro.
All right. And Tiramari, did you get even one of them?
I feel like I had a good idea going because I was trying to think of like people that I was pretty sure weren't in the first game, and so I wrote like, but then I lost my steam immediately because I forgot the name of that like shadow dude. So I wrote Midnight. I don't think that's right. And then I wrote comma that cactus guy, the one with the sombrero, and then comma Captain Commando. I think that's the other guy, right? The giant mecha or something.
Okay. Let's go ahead and reveal the correct answers. Cactus Guy is a character, but I'm not going to accept the name Cactus Guy because he has a name, and it's a
Wasn't it
Mingo.
a Mingo or something?
A Mingo, yeah.
A Mingo. Okay.
Then we have Ruby Hart, who is a pirate type lady, and Son Son, who is the They say in the canon that she's the granddaughter of a Capcom character from a much older game, which is basically a Journey to the West type game. She's basically Goku or maybe Gohan in this instance. Yeah, so Ruby Hart, Amingo, and Son Son. Yeah, absolute bollocks. Let's just say Ruby Hart, Monkey Girl forgot her name, and Amingo. Which is all correct. Cammy was a Street Fighter character, so Cammy existed, originating in the Super Street Fighter 2, I think. So Cammy is not correct. Blackheart's a Marvel character, but her name is not Monkey Girl. So absolute bollocks. You got 2 points. Nice on that one. But you're not in the 2 people, and we don't have a scoreboard for you. So you just remember.
We're already beating both of us almost combined.
The reason I said Cactus Guy is because randomly I was thinking about him today, and then so he's not from Darkstalkers. He's just like an original character.
He is an original. There's an online theory that he's a rejected Darkstalkers character, and also an online theory that he was supposed to be in his own game that never got finished. So, but yeah, Amingo. I always like playing as Amingo because I think he's much more unpredictable. He doesn't move like most of the other characters, and I like his design. I think he's really cool. I'd like to see him in more stuff, but this is, as far as I know, the only game he's been in.
Well, what about
Also,
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? I never touched it, so I don't know.
I don't know. I know that there's a number of characters like Wolverine is in a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because they don't do because they're trying to.
Was a terrible game.
It was horrible.
And the problem is they were saving, like they were focused on Marvel movie characters, and everybody else they were either leaving out entirely or saving for DLC that just never happened because it was a bad game.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that they change. Like, first of all, I want to point out that in the 5 or 6 games in the like Marvel Capcom series, including like X-Men versus Street Fighter and whatnot, this Marvel's Capcom 2 has the largest roster at 56.
Yes.
Which is, I think, tremendously impressive.
Be a question how many people there were, because I spent a lot of time reading that sentence over and over again.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Someone
At the
could
time, it was
mod.
the most ever in any fighting
Someone
game.
could mod Infinite to be like Robert Downey Jr. versus Chris Hemsworth or whatever.
I know, I'd play it more. Also, Captain Commando was, first of all, he was in Marvel's Capcom 1, and also he was in his own game. Yes, Ben?
I added Absolute Box to the scoreboard, so he's beating both the 2. So
All
all
right, great. AB, you're in the game. Welcome to the show. Let's see how well you do on this next one. Question 5. What is the name of Iron Man's hyper combo?
At this point, I'm just answering quickly to screw Tiramari over. I don't know any of it.
All right. Since Dan has given up the ghost on his speed, well, let's go to Tiramari first. We've done Dan first last. Tiramari. What's the name of Iron Man's hyper combo?
Well, I sent Ben a deck pic, but he can ignore that. And I wrote. No, I'm kidding. I wrote Ion Cannon. I think that's right.
Ion Cannon. Okay.
Yeah.
And Dan, what did you put?
Hyper Beam Cannon.
The answer is Proton Cannon.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's closer than we've been on most other answers.
That's true. Yeah. Absolute Bullocks also missed this one. You'll be happy to know. He said Ultra Beam.
Oh, thank God.
Anthony Zuzolo said Iron Crotch. And Jesse is a cool guy, said Hyper Beam, just like Venusaur. Venusaur doesn't use Hyper Beam. That's Solar Beam.
Solar Beam.
Yeah, Jesse, you idiot.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's very good. I also would have accepted Iron Avenger. He technically has 2 hyper combos, but nobody, like, it's not as fun to say Iron Avenger as to say Proton Cannon, which he says every time.
Yeah, I remember an
Can
ON.
you do that one more time, Jacob?
Sorry?
Can you do that one more time for me just to make sure that I get the full experience?
Proton Cannon!
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Let's do question number 6. It's going really bad. What is the name of the final boss in the single-player arcade mode? No matter who you play as, it's the same boss at the end of the single-player mode. What is the name of that boss?
Mario, 10 seconds.
All right. Let's start with Dan this time. What is the name of the final boss?
I'm pretty sure, wasn't it Abyss?
Abyss is your guess?
Yes.
Good name. Let's go to Tiramari and see what... Oh, sorry.
Based on the way you said that.
Tiramari, what was your answer?
I wrote intellectual property rights. I think that's the biggest hurdle that any game in this series has. The real villain.
Well, good news for one of you. It's Abyss. Abyss is the correct answer. Yeah. Nicely done. As you can see on a little slideshow, you fight Abyss in 3 separate forms. The first time you fight him is in the armor form in the middle. Then you fight the green ghostly form to the left. And then finally the 3-headed red monster to the right. It's surprisingly not that hard.
No, it was way easier than when you had to fight the Apocalypse, like the Cyber Akuma from one of the other games. That was
in the first one, yeah.
That was so hard. And Onslaught also wasn't that bad.
I remember beating Abyss, beating the first stage, the first form, no fucking problem. The first time I beat in the arcade. The second one gave me a bit of trouble. And the third one, I mean, it's 3 heads, and I had no idea what I was doing. But the fact that I managed to beat it and only having to use it continue like once means that, like, this is not why people bought this game.
No, the second boss was much harder because he would go down into the ground, and then sometimes he would go off the screen and just have this big AoE attack.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, he was not a hard boss.
No. But hey, Dan, for the first time, someone in this game is in the lead. So nicely done.
Bullshit. How did
Also, we got a few subs from our own people, so drink for that.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Jesse's a cool guy, gifting tier 1 sub to Alcoholic Robot. Cheers. Thank you for that. And then also, it appears that Roy Battery and shout out to Pizza and maybe one other people are just having a conversation about books in the chat. Hey.
That's how uninteresting we are. Right?
We love the discourse, don't we, folks? Anyway, Absolute Bullock says he is the final boss. Well, Absolute Bullock, you're not in the lead anymore. Oh no, you still are. Sorry. Let's move on to this next one. I don't feel confident about this one. Question number 7. At the time of this game's release in the year 2000, which Marvel character had debuted the most recently?
Sensei.
Oh, everybody's in. Okay. Let's go to Tiramari first.
I'm already regretting this answer because I just thought of someone else, but I'm gonna say Venom.
Venom. Okay. Let's go
You
to
said
Dan. What'd you say?
Venom?
Yeah, I don't know. It was the 90s.
I don't
Who is-
even know
who
if
was the
I'm
other one?
right, but you are.
Oh, no,
I was
I'm-
thinking.
buddy.
I want to hear Dan's first, and then I'll ask Tiramari.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
What?
Here's the thing. As I typed my answer, I realized that I might have misheard the question and thought you were talking purely about movies.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Well, Dan,
Can I
if
say my
I
other guess?
yeah, what was your other guess?
That Omega dude with like the cables in his wrist.
Omega Red?
Yeah, that guy. Maybe Rob Liefeld.
And Dan, what was your what would you have said if you understood the question?
If I understood the question, I would have said Cable.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that it'll please you to know that all 4 of your guesses were all wrong, you guys. It was Marrow. Marrow, who is a somewhat esoteric X-Men
Morlock,
character.
yeah.
Yeah, she was a member of the Morlocks. She has the ability to like make these bone clubs and protrusions that she can pull out of her body and hit people with them. Apparently, someone on the game development team was a big X-Men fan, and when they were like, "Who'd be a big Marvel fan?" They're like, "Who'd be a cool, weird character to add?" He was like, "Oh, well, Marrow is like Marrow debuted in 1994." You know what's crazy? The second most recent Marvel character was War Machine, 1993.
Wow.
Yeah, even though James Rhodes first appeared in comics
Oh,
in
1979.
1979.
He was Iron Man.
And then he was Iron Man for a chunk of time in the mid 80s, but then he didn't. The War Machine armor did not make its debut until 1993, only 1 year before the most recent character in this game.
Wow.
So
And this Marrow is in the game, you're saying?
Marrow is a playable character. Yeah, I don't know how
Marrow
popular
was
she was.
super
Yeah,
cool
I don't
character.
recognize her at all.
Marrow was super cool on the Wolverine and the X-Men cartoon. They
Okay.
gave her a lot of depth. She was very cool on that. I never paid any attention to her in the comics, but I really enjoyed that character later.
Yeah, she was really dope in like her early appearances because she was like when she first joined the X-Men, she kind of like hated being there, but like then over time like figured out her role to play in the team. Yeah, she was neat. I think she's dead now.
Enemies to lovers?
Yeah, maybe. OJ says gentrified Spike. Yeah, actually, this is where they got the idea for Spike's powers.
I was thinking it's like
Yeah, it kind of has the same powers as Spike. Yeah, DMX Man. Let me see, Spider-Man, and also the first Spider-Man movie to come out in 2002. Damn. So that would have been.
Wow, we're gonna rub salt in the Dan was wrong again.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dan, you're
As long
old.
as I'm beating Tiramari, I don't care.
You're so old that the 2002 feels like the 90s, Dan.
Oh man, you're lucky I don't live anywhere near you. I would.
People in the chat saying they forgot all about her. That's legit. She, as far as I know, has made no other video game appearance.
Damn.
Let's move on to a question that actually you guys might get this one.
Oh.
Question number 8. The game's story follows Ruby Hart in her quest to avert disaster that would destroy both of the worlds at the hands of Abyss. To help, she teams up with which Marvel character? So basically, this game had 2 real protagonists. According to the people who made the game, these are the 2 protagonists of the game, Ruby Hart and what Marvel character? All right, everybody's in. Let's go to Dan first.
So I didn't actually know that Ruby Hart was involved in the story. I just remember like on the arcade that big splash screen of Ryu and Captain America shaking hands. So I went with Captain America.
Okay, good guess. One of the mascots of Marvel. Let's go to Tiramari. Who did you put?
Yeah, this character I chose, he's a lot like a friend that we have on the stream. You know, he's a soldier. I thank him for his service every day. I also chose Captain America.
Okay. Well, it is cool that you guys get to be equal amounts of wrong.
Yes.
The answer is Cable.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The same person from before who had the idea to put Marrow in the game thought that Cable would make sense to team up with Ruby Heart because Ruby Heart is traveling on her ship through different dimensions and Cable is a time traveler. So they thought that it kind of made sense to have the two of them hang out.
Oh, that makes complete sense. I just, in no way was that reflected in the arcade game.
Also, I think I know the shot you're thinking of with Ryu and Captain America shaking hands, and I'm pretty sure it's actually Ryu and Cyclops, and that was X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Nope. Cyclops has never done anything cool.
Okay. Let me see. OJ managed to get this one right. OJ Patterson said Cable. Roy Battery said Captain Jack Sparrow. Shout out to Pizza said Ironheart, a character that wouldn't exist for nearly 20 years. Jesse is a cool guy, said Jubilee. Ruby Heart and Jubilee. Sure.
Has Cyclops
Wait a
ever
minute,
like
Ruby
blinked
Heart
super
less
fast
cool.
just to like create like a machine gun effect?
Would that be good? Would that
No,
work?
but like he should. Or I'm just surprised that like his laser beam is interrupted by just like normal blinks and stuff, you know?
It's not a laser, it's concussive force, first of all. So,
Oh yeah, right. It's like from that
yeah.
one dimension where everything is a punch or something.
The red dimension.
Yeah,
It's from
sure.
the dimension of red.
Okay.
Here's the thing. While I appreciate Tiramari being corrected as being wrong, I also appreciate that he's disrespecting Cyclops, so I don't really know.
Yeah, yeah. No, one time someone told me I was Cyclops, and I never spoke to them again. So, it was
In
the
what
rudest thing
context?
anyone's ever said. Just like, oh, who? If I was an X-Men and we were like a group of friends, who am I? And they're like, you're
Oh,
Cyclops.
okay.
No, because Tiramari was in a trilogy and his girlfriend killed him. So that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what it was like.
that's exactly right. And now I hang out with Sonic.
Great. Let's move on to question number 9, I think. The Marvel character Shubha Gorath is a villain who most commonly fights what Marvel hero that does not appear in this game? Oh, wow, both sides reporting in. Let's
Swear
start
to
with
God,
Dan.
if I don't get this right, I'm actually gonna be upset for once.
Let's start with Dan first.
I went with Doctor Strange because I know there's a lot of controversy over whether that is Shuma Gorath in the previews of his new movie, and he was like there was something that looked like him in the What If series, but it was named something different. So I feel pretty confident that it's Doctor Strange because they've been dancing around this in the MCU recently.
Okay. Let's go to Tiramari. What was your answer?
You're not gonna believe this, but I also said Doctor Strange.
Okay. We got, and the chat agrees with you. OJ, Anthony Zuzolo, and shout out to Pizza all said Doctor Strange because that's correct. Yes, here's a photo of Doctor Strange fighting Shuma Gorath. A photo. It's a drawing. It's a photo of a comic.
All right, still in the game, boys.
Yeah, still holding up and strong. The
I'm
other version I
surprised
had for this.
people keep announcing that this is the last question just to end this quickly, based on how badly it's going.
Only 44 more questions, and then we're done. I swear to God. Shuma Gorath. After I wrote this question, I realized that he was in the trailer. However, if I had said this exact same question, but I said it about Blackheart, would you guys have gotten that right?
Yeah,
No.
Tiramar says no. Dan, who does Blackheart fight?
Ghost Rider.
That's correct. Okay, cool. So that would have been a difference maker. All right.
I should get a bonus point
No.
because I've earned it.
That's what you get, Dan.
I watched the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies, which means I've earned bonus points.
Dude, when I ran this question, I ran both questions by Ku, the Shuma Gorath version and the Blackheart version. He said the Shuma Gorath version was harder because Blackheart's in the Ghost Rider movie. And I was like, I'm going to see that movie, but I'd rather
Yeah.
talk about Shuma Gorath.
I did not know Blackheart was in that movie.
I mean, it's not great, man. Nicolas Cage is a delight. Lots of love for him. The movies are bad. Movies are real bad. Except for when Sam Elliott is there for 2 scenes. They waste Sam Elliott so much in that movie.
Who does he play? Like a Marvel character, or is he just Sam Elliott?
He plays a former Ghost Rider because it's like a title in that.
Ah.
The
Oh,
Ghost Rider.
it's a title in the comics too. That's like a thing.
Yes, I knew that. Haha.
So that's not like insane. And also, I feel like it'd be pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. They made 2 of those fucking movies, didn't they?
Yeah, the second one has him peeing fire like it's a flamethrower. They managed to make a worse movie than the first Ghost Rider movie.
I think that's just chlamydia.
Great. Let's move to question number, what are we on, 10?
Well, I don't get a bonus point for chlamydia.
What STD does Spider-Man have? No, number 10. Of all the Capcom characters, which one had the earliest video game debut?
Jesus.
Of all the playable characters. All right. Before I reveal the answer, I want to give one quick note. I also would have accepted, for the Shuma Gorath question, I also would have accepted Conan, because Shuma Gorath is a concept from the original Conan novels. And at the time, the Conan license was controlled by Marvel, and they were making Conan comics. So people think Shuma Gorath is originally a Conan character. No one would have said that, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's adorable that you said also would have accepted something we never would have.
So you're saying it's possible that Arnold Schwarzenegger could have been in like a tentacle focused
Dude.
fight scene.
If they make another Conan movie with Schwarzenegger set in the MCU, like 8 people will be super stoked. Anyway, let's go to Tiramari for this Capcom history question. What character did you put for this?
All right, my answer feels too easy to be true, but I said Ryu.
Ryu from Street Fighter.
Nice.
Man, that was just on deck. That was good.
Yeah.
Nice. Dan, what was your guess?
So, I struggled with this one, and that's why the answer wasn't in before you finished the question, just to screw with Tiramari. I wanted to actually think of a real answer. I went with Mega Man, but I'm really not sure.
Okay, it's time to reveal. This is another one where I would have accepted 2 answers. Ryu or Ken, because they both appeared in the first Street Fighter. August 1987, Mega Man debuted the following December. So Ryu, Tiramari gets that point.
Man, look at Ken looking like a whole ass hobbit.
Yeah, so we got Anthony Zuzula said Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, which he's not playable in this game.
Yeah, I almost said him too, but then
I don't know if he's older than that. I don't know if he predates the first Street Fighter. I didn't look that up. And Jesse said Mega Man. But yeah, so Mega Man wasn't.
Jesse's delightful.
Yeah, Mega Man wasn't an insane guess because it was the same year. Just Street Fighter beat it by only a few months, so you could hold on to that. Let's move on to question number 11. What's the name of this stage? All right. Let's go to Dan first because I feel like he said something rude to me.
Well, I don't appreciate the slander. This is a well thought out answer. My answer is: do you feel good about this one? Do you? Do you like embarrassing us? Does it make you feel like a big man?
That's really good. Let's go to Tiramari. What did you say?
That's a good point, Dan. You're very lucky that we don't have shame kinks, Jacob, because we both so turned on right now.
We don't at all.
Yeah, I mean, so I knew this was a Mingo stage. but I didn't know the name of it, so I wrote Among Us.
Among Us?
Yeah,
Like if Among Us was played by Mingus from Boy Meets World?
sure. That's exactly what I had in mind. Yeah.
That is Minkus, not Mingus, sir.
Oh, good point. It is Mingus. I shouldn't have brought it. I brought up Boy Meets World just to get a pop out of you, Dan, and I got it wrong.
Topangus.
The Mingus. um, if you guys, what would you say this is a picture of?
A desert.
Desert is the correct answer.
God damn it.
It's just called desert. It was really hard to write 15 questions about this game.
Yeah, I'm sorry, how many questions?
15 in total. This is number 11.
And I was like, I should not have signed up for this.
What do we have? OJ thought it was New Mexico. Absolute Bollock says the Badlands, which would be pretty dope. Jesse McGrath says the Great American Southwest. Shout out to Pizza says New Pork City. Yeah, it's just the desert. All the stages in this game, like there's circus, there's river. It's just basic ass names.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Was that a Guilty Gear reference, Absolute Bollocks? I think one of the levels is called Badlands, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Oh, well, Soul Bad Guy is the bad guy. Is the main character. It's
Right.
kind of like the main guy.
I think Mortal
Right,
Kombat
and I hate him.
3 had Badlands, and that was where you could see Cyrax off, like, half buried in the sand.
So just going off that sentence, Dan, you clearly know more about Mortal Kombat.
You know what? I drink a lot, Jacob. I drink a lot, and sometimes I forget things.
Some say drinking a lot is the real Mortal Kombat. It's combating with your mortality.
Let's move on to question number 12. Oh, fuck. There's no way. Let's do it anyway. There are 9 Marvel characters that appeared as assists in the first Marvel vs. Capcom game that get upgraded to playable characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What other feature do they have in common?
What?
Ridiculous.
All right. I knew that no one would get this. Well, actually, fucking maybe. Dan, what'd you put?
So, I tried to give you a real answer. I have no idea, but I thought about well, I mean, I'm wrong because I realize now that you said Marvel, and I've been drinking for so many hours.
How are you winning? Fuck you.
I am 3 hours ahead of you. So the answer that I gave is clearly wrong, but I tried to put some thought into it. And I said, like, they have summon attacks, like when Jill Valentine brings out the zombie.
Okay.
It's clearly wrong, but I do want you to know that I did try. Because I respect you, Jacob. I respect you.
All
right. Tiramari, what was yours?
I mean, I like you, Jacob. You're fine, but I was trying to think of a real answer as well, but I couldn't think of for 9 characters. So I just manifested my dream here, and I said they're all people of color.
That would be so shitty if you have the whole cast of Marvel vs. Capcom all white and all the assists are people of color. Like that is just that would be the most blatantly bizarre tone deaf. Oh my god.
Should we move the help into the second game?
Anyway, it was a bit more obvious than either of your things. They were all X-Men characters. They were all in some way related to the X-Men series. Colossus, Cyclops, Iceman, Juggernaut, Magneto, Psylocke, Rogue, Sentinel, Storm are the 9 characters. And there were other new characters added to the game. And there were other Marvel assists that were not turned into playable characters from Marvel vs. Capcom 1. But all the ones that did meet that specific criteria all were in some way related to X-Men. I even would have relaxed if you guys had said mutants. I would have said that's half a point because that's the case for 7 out of 9. But yeah, so no, they're all X-Men characters. That's it.
Wait, are you saying that 2 of them are not mutants?
Yeah, Juggernaut. Well,
Bull's not a mutant.
Oh yeah,
he's a-
Juggernaut.
yeah, and Juggernaut got his powers from the Crimson Gem of Sidorak.
Right.
Yeah, and in some of the in like the movies, he's a mutant, and maybe some shows or something. But in like real continuity, he's not a mutant. Yeah, Jubilee is also an X-Men character. Jubilee is not in this game. Let's move on to question number 13. Which character in their hyper combo summons a giant monster named Tyrant? That's time. According to Ben's countdown, we are out of time. Let's go to Tiramari first. Did you put anything?
I wrote Blackheart with a question mark at the end.
Okay, hey, that's not insane. So,
Yeah.
but it's not correct. Dan,
Jill Valentine.
yeah, you amazingly you said the answer in the previous question. Tiramari wasn't paying attention or didn't put the pieces together. Yeah. Jill Valentine summons Tyrant, also known as T-002 from the Resident Evil games. She ducks down for cover, as you can see in the image there, and then a giant zombie comes in and fucks shit up.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was really awesome. That Dan's like spoils question 12.
And I didn't connect the dots.
Yeah, I was so, like, because that happened in the Sonic one from 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what the question was, but Derek, to prove how much he knew about something, completely said the answer to a question like 2 questions later. But yeah. But this time, Dan's Gambit worked. So yeah, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, who a lot of people forget Resident Evil's in this game. 2 more questions. We're almost out of here. Question number 14. Yep, it's another Ruby Hart question. Ruby Hart made her debut in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because she was rejected from appearing in what other Capcom series? Jesse with a really great comment. Dan's Gambit is saying the answer.
And I have not used that gambit very often tonight.
Right. And to answer, shout out to Pizza, you assumed Derek won. Actually, it ended up being a tie down the middle between Derek and Brandon. Yeah, so it's a really good episode. Go back and watch it here on Super Trash
Derek
TV.
must be fuming.
He was behind at the time, actually, so he's pretty stoked. Yeah, so that's a spoiler. Fuck it. Watch the episode. It's a good episode. I'm really pleased with the questions I wrote. Everything's streaming on Super Trash TV. Give us views, because I think we get money when that happens. Is that true? Yeah, let's go into Ruby Hart was supposed to be Tiramari. Let's go to you first.
Shit, what'd I write? Oh, Street Fighter, I said.
Street Fighter. Okay, solid. Dan, what did you say?
Seems too easy because it was an answer earlier, but I went with Darkstalkers.
Well, sometimes easy is correct.
God damn it. That's
Yeah.
why I didn't say Darkstalkers.
Because it seemed too easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did worry about that, including this question, for that exact reason. But yeah.
Well, thanks for your concern, Jacob.
I'm just glad that it means that Tiramari can no longer win. 2 points ahead of him. 4 points out of 13. Pulling out in the lead.
Unless this last question is a multi-part question again.
Yeah, because I think she makes sense as a Darkstalkers character, because I know that Darkstalkers, the theme is supposed to be monsters, but really I feel like the theme of Darkstalkers is Halloween costumes, because you got vampire, cat, mummy, werewolf. Pirate completely slides in. The other playable character in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 from Darkstalkers is dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. It all kind of makes sense. Yeah, it's a good game, but they haven't made a new one in like ages.
They should.
They really should, yeah. Let's go to the final question. Very pleased with this one. Who played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 character M. Bison in the 1994 Street Fighter? Shout out to Pizza says, I hate it when we go to tier. It's because I don't want to hear the wrong answer first. So with that in mind,
It just creates
Tiramari.
anticipation. Yeah, all right. I think I might have spelled it wrong, but Raul Julia, right?
Raul Julia, who famously played, he was in Curse of the Spider Woman. He
And
was
it's
in the Addams Family films.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan, what did you put?
I also said Raul Julia. I gave an impassioned defense of his performance in that garbage movie on Nerd Rage: The Great Debate. So this one was a real easy one for me.
Yeah, all right. We get to end this on a high note. Act Raul Julia, who posthumously won the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in this dog shit movie.
It was
Nice,
so
that's
bad.
good.
Yeah.
It's funny how I open with the correct answer, huh? Shout out to Pizza.
Yeah, I'd also like to quick shout out to we did a silly article on the Super Trash TV blog about our favorite Street Fighter stage, and Dan Robitsky wrote defending the M Bison stage and wrote his whole part of the article is just about how good this performance is. So go ahead and read that. I also wrote a really funny thing about my favorite stage in Street Fighter 4. Seamus is in it. I think OJ's in it. Yeah, it's a good read, so go ahead and check that out. Anyway, oh yeah, OJ, thank you for linking. The link is in the chat if you would like to read it. So that is the game. The game is now over. Here's the game over screen for Capcom 2, if you forgot what that looked like. But now that we've looked at the game over screen, let's flash back to the main screen so that we can see the scores at the end of the game. Our winner by 2 points, 6-4. It is Dan West. Congratulations, Dan. Well done. As the winner, you get to do your promo first. What would you like to promote? Where could you find your social media, etc.?
This feels good. It feels right to defeat Tiramari. I am on all social media at Dan West Comedy. You can catch me on Instagram with adorable pictures of my dog and my cats. You can catch me on Facebook mocking racists. And my Twitter has somehow become a fan account for The Bachelor. So I've got layers, and I hate all of it.
And Tiramari, what would you like to plug?
I'd like to first off promote the fact that Dan almost lost the tournament that he suggested. But then also I'm doing stand up. I'm around the Bay Area. If I had to choose something that I'd love for y'all to come out to, I am running my own monthly show at Federation Brewing in Oakland called Craft Comedy. It is a comedy show. It's a variety comedy show, and I always try to get the weirdest people I can on it.
Nice. Well, thanks so much for playing. Next week we'll be back with a different category. That one has not been fully booked yet, so be sure to come check that out and hang out in here. You can find me on Twitter at Jacob S. Rubin, and also Instagram. And and be sure to stay tuned to Super Trash TV for our various streams. Thursday, I don't know if we have a Thursday schedule for tomorrow, but every Tuesday is Open Smash with OJ. On D&D with Ben, and the D&D crew is every other Sunday. Are you doing that this Sunday, Ben?
This Sunday, yeah.
This Sunday it will be happening, so go ahead and check that out. And stay tuned. And go to supertrash.tv for all our various events, blog posts. We do lots of great stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in and playing. Dan, we will definitely have you back for when we do the Love is Blind episode. And this has been... And once again, shout out to Tiramari for designing the awesome logo. That is, I just love inserting it into the show every week. It makes me really happy. Thank you again to producer Ben. This has been another episode of One Up. See you next week. Have a good one.